What one?
Oh, I thought you were gonna do it.
No, I don't think we're gonna make that a thing. I'm
Wow.
not committed to making that a thing, but
Okay. Emotional damage. That's how I feel right now. Like, oh,
did you want to make
okay.
that a thing every
No, we
week?
don't have to. If it listen, if it
It's
does
kind
not
of
speak to you,
we're the spirit. I feel like that's your intro, and then I just follow up with some kind of, you know, hey, how you doing? Peace, peace, queen.
yes, really, how you sound right now this week.
Shit, running around with y'all for my updates. I ran around with you guys and I was like, this is crazy. I never get allergies. Do you guys hear me? And that was a full blown sickness by Sunday afternoon, trying to keep up with the Joneses, trying to be a
Mm.
hot girl,
Trying to be
falling
a hot
asleep,
girl.
trying
That's
just
the thing.
exhausted. I look back at some of those photos that y'all took,
You,
especially near the end. I said, "Wow, I don't know how you guys didn't say, Shanti, are you okay?" Now
I
what?
did. Do you remember when we were sitting there and I was like, and you were like, "Can I lay on you?" And I was like, "No." And I kept saying to you, "Get up. You need to get up." And you were like, "But why? Why do I have to get up?" I was like, "Oh, you're really tired."
No, man, I was
On the ride home,
overlasting.
you were like, somebody asked you to pass them some chips, and you were like,
Yo, I was scared on that ride home. I would wake up anyway. I don't even know how I would wake up
I
when the car
know.
jerked
Jimmy was veering. Jimmy was
in
tired and
a
veering.
panic.
I know. Okay, so first of all, nobody even knows what we did. First of all, all of the girls, and if you're new to this podcast, welcome because we see the listens going up. I guess that's from our appearances on Horrible Decisions and Good Moms Bad Choices. Shout out to y'all. Welcome. This is Around the Way Curls, where we talk all things love and light, money and dicks, because duality is a thing. But anyway, we all got together to celebrate our girlfriends' birthdays, Amanda and Jasmine. Yes, Jasmine Sullivan. And we are basically a group of five girls. We've been friends since high school, and we always celebrate birthdays together. Especially, I feel like we skip our birthdays, but their birthdays we always celebrate because they're so close. Um, I just ripped my bra. I literally just tried to put my breast back in the bra because it's spilling out, and I just heard the lace rip, and
And
it's just
also, we just need to pause. Look at the time right now because I need to change the Wi-Fi to the cord. I have it on Wi-Fi and not on the cord thing. So look at that time there, Queen. All right, still on this bitch. All right.
good. So we got together. We had a full weekend of festivities. From Friday, day one, we're doing self-defense classes that you didn't even go to, where we're doing, what is that called?
Jiu-jitsu.
Jujitsu. Then we came back to the house. We filmed some stuff for something that Jazz is doing. Then we ate. We ate from, what is that chef's name? Damn.
Damn.
No, I'm gonna find it. Chef something or other.
Something
Magic
hot.
something. Anyway,
Right.
we ate. We stayed up all night talking about nothing. Then the next day we're up very early at a fucking gun range, which we'll get into that. Then we came back to the house, had a huge brunch, did some karaoke, got dressed, took a car all the way down to Washington, D.C., saw Lucky Day, who was incredible in concert, hung out with Lucky Day afterwards. Oh no, we went to dinner too. Hung out with Lucky Day afterwards, got back in the car, and it was what, like two something in the morning? Maybe one something in the morning, late as fuck. Had to drive all the way back to Philly, and then got up the next day and and celebrated Christ
You celebrated
resurrecting.
Christ.
Oh, wow.
Good for
Raggedy.
you.
Hot
No
Chef.
diss to.
Her name is Hot
I knew
Chef.
it was something hot because I said, "Oh, she a little spicy, got a little hot in her name, a hot girl."
Hot Chef now you know I can't read. Azzinaro. Her food, she does both vegan and raggedy people food. When I tell you, that food was so good. That was ridiculous how good that food was.
Was
it not?
Pop and R&B. It was
Baby, I said, what is this? Shout out to her.
What is this?
But she is opening up a restaurant in New Jersey soon enough.
We gonna be there.
We should pull up.
Yeah, we'll be there. Play in my hand.
I think I'm a part of the Hot Chef Hive at this point.
Anyway, I was exhausted, and by Sunday evening, after I left you guys, Sunday afternoon, I was shaking in my boots, child.
But you rested the most out of all of us. You missed karaoke.
I was exhausted.
You were asleep in the car.
I was sick. My body was shut down. It wasn't.
Oh, you were sick before us then.
You didn't hear me sneezing and.
Yeah, but I thought it was allergies. I don't know. Anyway, I'm glad that you're better now. That's the whole moral of
the story. It was, in fact, a whole sickness coming down. It was not allergies. I don't have allergies, so I don't know why I thought they were allergies. I thought it was my first bout with allergies in my life. But here we are, child. Thanks for all the love that I was given for my photos with JoJo. I was scared to release them, and I hid all of the photos that she did eat me up. But when I say I have a Leo as a daughter, a Sag and a Leo, what a combination. What just a glorious combination. But the way that little baby just effortlessly opened up and just showed on out for the camera. I have more photos that I'll show you, but it was really it was fun to make. And today I had to sit back, or I had to have an out of body experience and watch myself being super critical of myself in the photos, because it's just, when I see photos of myself when I was 20, 21, I was like, oh, you were so beautiful. You were like cute. Just after I had JoJo. And I could imagine my 40 and 50-year-old self will look back at myself now and think the same thing. So it's important to, let the voices go by, let them taunt you and harass you, but not take it to heart and try.
That's a hard thing to do when you're looking at yourself, because you don't see yourself throughout the day,
but
right?
Then you never see yourself. It's like you never see yourself. And I can't do that, because I didn't see myself when I was 21 and I was like a new mom and just vibrant. And
did you feel that way when you took the pictures then, though? Because it's always, I look back at old pictures to me, I'm like, you look great. But in that moment when I was looking at them, I was just as critical of myself.
But that's just dumb. 5 years later, I'm like, wow.
I know.
I just want to detach myself from even having from relating too much to that thought. Just be like, all right, yeah, you're just doing your dumb thing, but you cute.
It's hard.
But it was a lot of fun to do that with her, and thanks for everybody for hyping us up, hyping up me and my little Leo queen. But mostly I've just been laying low and slobbering into a pillow because I can't breathe out of my nose. So I don't really have much updates aside from.
Well, because you are sick, we are recording this on a Wednesday, which happens to be 4/20. And what do I do on 4/20 for this podcast? Because I am method, I take an edible. So we're going to see where this goes today. So that is me just prefacing this episode, and all of you listeners, that it might get goofy down the line, but it's a holiday, so let me celebrate.
Happy 4/20, everybody.
Happy 4/20, everyone. Also, I want to say happy Easter and Passover. So this Easter, I had a very biracial experience. We ate so well during that girls' trip, okay?
At Jazz's family,
at Jazz's birthday thing, yeah.
Uh-huh.
We ate so well. I went home, my stomach was full. I said, wow. Now, I was going to hang out with my white mom's husband's family. Okay. That's where they were ringing in Easter. Lovely people. But baby, when I tell you, it got tricky right away. So my sister was down. Shout out to her. And it's always funny when she's there because the way she handles things is just so much different from me. And I told her, I said, it's masterful how she can be around a bunch of people that she has nothing in common with and just put it on. She's on. She's like, oh, wow. Well, yes, Dennis and I, and she's just talking. And I'm in there, mind you, I had straight backs at the time with like all black on, some sneaks. Like I just looked like, girl, what you doing here? But the first thing that happened was that they got there first because I knew we had to drive back to New York. I was in Philly. So we had to drive back to New York. So I saw a Starbucks that was down the street from them. And I was like, oh, I'm going to go to Starbucks and get us some chai tea lattes for the ride home. So I do that. So I show up late, Shanti Mayers. And this is going to be a long story. I don't care.
Before you continue, I'm sorry. Can you center yourself? Because half of your face is getting split off the screen. And that's going to, there it is. Wow.
Anyway, so yeah, I'm about to fight you. So it doesn't look like that on my screen, but that's interesting. So anyway, so I walk in and there is a dog. So I knew the one girl had a dog that is like this dog has anxiety issues. It's been diagnosed with anxiety, which is just fucking ridiculous. So that dog was walking around with his little weird self. And I went over to the dog immediately. It was just like, hi, is everything okay? How are you feeling? Because I'm like the animal whisperer. But then there was another dog, and I thought that dog was a little yip yip dog, a little, them little feisty dogs. And so the dog came over with beef. So immediately I was like, here you go. Y'all always like that. You already injured. I will fight you. And my sister was like, it's not injured. Shut up. Basically. And I was like, what do you mean it's not injured? It's got a thing around its stomach. And she was like, it's a diaper. And I said, bitch. I was like, excuse me? And she said, it's a diaper. And she just gave me that look of like, don't embarrass us. And so I chalked that up. And then the girl came out who was the dog owner with the diaper. Craziest lip fillers you would ever see. I said, my God, I would have to look at you all day and not look at that lip. And that lip, it was only the top lip just poking out like, you know how they do on The Simpsons?
Yeah.
It was like that. So that was stressing me out. Then they asked me if I wanted something to drink. I'm driving, and I haven't been drinking like that. So I was like, no, just water. What did they come out with? Them little-ass water bottles this big. Oh. I'm immediately irritated. I put the water bottle down. We were just talking about that this weekend. Put the water down. I don't know what water is mine. Anyway, so then we sit on the table. I sit at the table. This is when I checked out. This is when I'm not usually like this. I can usually keep talking. But when I tell you for 45 minutes, I said nothing because I was so shocked. I was shocked by what was about to occur. First of all, my mother is in the kitchen. I have no idea what she's doing. And she comes out with a fucking Pyrex container, proceeds to put food on her and my sister's plate. So I said, wait a minute. What are you doing? And she was like, oh, I brought this tortilla. And I said, did you bring food to a dinner party? You ignorant, rude. And she was like, we're trying to be vegans. I was like, no, you're not. So basically, I wasn't catching on. And I was pissed because where's mine? Like, what the fuck? But her food looks like trash. I will say. My mom
looked crazy. When I saw that video, I
was like, my mom can cook. That looks disgusting. But she had done this vegan bell pepper with like curry lentils or some shit. It actually was tasty.
Bell pepper. Stuffed bell pepper.
But I know I don't love it either. And apparently she asked me if I wanted one, and I said no, and that's why I didn't get it. But I regret it. Then she had like a sweet potato that had nothing on it. And I said, ma'am, stop playing with me. But then her fucking bell pepper was also burnt. So I'm really like, Mom.
I said it. I said, wow.
It was burnt. The bitch, they brought out the food and I understood. I said, oh my, and I was sitting next to my mother and then sitting next to like the person whose house it was. And it got tricky. So I'm looking at this salad, Shanti, I swear to God on my life. And I keep looking, I'm like, that cabbage looks weird. Like, I know that. I know that shape of food, but no, that can't be it. That would just be crazy. So I'm like looking at him like I'm not gonna fuck with that salad. I'm gonna just, move around. But you could tell this was a white household. You did not make your own plate. They came and put the plates at the head of the table, and then they just were like, oh yeah, pass it along, and then everybody would just scoop something in, and wherever the plates land, they land. And I was like, nope, no. And I like figured out a way to get out of that. But somehow that salad ended up on my plate. So I'm sitting there looking at this squiggly thing, this pail, and it looks like brains almost. And I'm like, what could this be? And I put it in my mouth and I said, oh my God, that is what it is. Bitch, it was raw ramen oodles and noodles. I swear to God on my motherfucking life. So I said,
why didn't you take a picture?
So I couldn't.
Wait a minute. It was ramen noodle salad?
Ramen noodles from the packet. So apparently this is a thing that white people do.
No.
Because, I Googled
know a lot
it.
of white people, and ain't none of my white folks doing
Let me tell you. I Googled it, Shanti Mares, and there are numerous recipes for this shit. Go ahead right now and Google oodles and noodles or ramen oodles and noodles salad. So what you do is you take the ramen noodle packet. You do not cook said noodles. You discard of the seasoning packet. Discard of it. You crunch that shit up, but not too much. Put it in a bowl, and then you add craisins, scallions, cabbage, multiple types of cabbage.
It's a noodle salad with cabbage.
Thank you. It's right the fuck there. And then you drizzle some, because they want to eat healthy, so they drizzle some olive oil on it and a little bit of like lemon. And I said, what? And my sister kept saying, no, it was cooked. I said, it wasn't cooked. It just sat there so long that it was soggy. And then somebody had the nerve to say on the fucking menu page, what type of ramen noodle, what flavor should I buy? And somebody else was like, oh, it doesn't matter what flavor because you discarded the seasoning anyway. Excuse me? And bitch, they loaded my plate up with this. Then my mother made a salad. There was some kind of toasted sesame, lime, chili, cucumber salad. And I was like, who the fuck would bring that to Easter? You're rude. You know that's not going to match any other palates, like any other tastes were on this table. Girl, then we got to the ham.
Not ham.
How? Right, because I'm like, this is and mind you, that was the only meat they served. So the ham is on my plate, and I'm like, well, I can't eat this salad. I need some kind of nourishment of the body, so I guess I'm going to have swine today. Now, how do Black people make ham? How would you serve a ham?
I don't fuck with ham, period.
A honey ham. Maybe you put some pineapples on it. You glaze that bitch up. And most times, or oftentimes, ham you don't have to like cook for that long. It usually comes like pre-cooked, and then you hook it up.
Get rid of the salmonella. Heard that.
Child. So, girl, this big ass chunk of ham was on my plate, and I bit into it, and it was ice box cold. And I looked to my mom, and she was like, they serve it cold. And I said, why would they? This is large chunks of lunch meat sitting on my plate. I was so irritated. It just kept getting worse as I went around. So there were just all these different tastes. None of them match. And I just remembered like, oh my God, this is what being Black and white is. This is what it is. You have these dope ass people in your life that can throw down. You eat to the point where your stomach hurts. You don't even feel well. You might even need to walk to the store and get an enema to help evacuate your bowels. And then you go to white folks' Easter dinner and you think to yourself, I might starve here. How do I don't care.
It sounds like balance to me.
Yo.
It sounds like yin and yang.
I was like, how do I move this food on my plate to make it seem like I ate it? To not be rude. But then when I kept looking over at my raggedy ass mom eating her own burnt food, I couldn't hold it together. So then here's another update. I'm like, I realized my sister actually tried to get me to talk, and she actually mentioned you, and I don't even remember what she said, but they were talking about something, and she said to me, and she brought it up later, she said to me, oh, that sounds a lot like some of the things that Shanti says, right, Antoinette? And I just stared at her. She told me I just stared at her, that I literally checked out and said nothing, and it was awkward. Everybody was just like,
damn,
okay.
Antoinette.
Because I was stuck. I was having an outer body experience. So then I realized, like, okay, I need to talk. So I brought up Easter. And I was like, does anybody have the timeline? And so I realized that I am fucking Easter up too. Because I said, wait a minute, Jesus rose. But why do we always watch the Ten Commandments on Easter? I thought Easter had to do with the Ten Commandments because they always show it on TV during Easter, and I watched it every single year.
Do
I thought it was, yes, this is every Easter they show the Ten Commandments, which could be really confusing to a kid because I grew up and y'all motherfuckers made Easter about the Easter bunny and some chocolate and baskets and shit. I didn't know what Easter was. So now I'm putting the timeline together, and these people are telling me that Moses came way before Jesus. And I said, wow, didn't know that. So I just felt like an idiot sitting at the table. So then they start trying to break the timeline down, and I realized nobody knows what they're talking about because they were sitting there arguing back and forth like, oh, well, no, that wouldn't make sense. And I said, well, we
What
really
about
need
the
a
dinosaurs?
timeline.
Yeah.
Stop. I knew you were going to bring up the dinosaurs. Stop. But we need somebody needs to send me a timeline. I've Googled it. I cannot find it. I need a timeline of all the biblical events.
Let's go.
I also realized that I might actually be Jewish because I tend to really get along with Jewish folks. If you remember, all the Jewish people in my life, we rock with each other pretty hard. I have been celebrating Passover. Did you know that was not our holiday? Or mine? Because you're not even...
Passover is Moses' day.
That is the Jewish holiday.
Yeah, because they passed over the houses, yo.
Right, because he put the blood...
The snaky black smoke.
Yes, he put the blood of the lamb on the doors when he said, okay...
And then the Jews got out of Egypt. They was free.
Listen, what you have to understand is because I always watch the Ten Commandments, I just figured that was our day too. Oh, it's Passover. I'd be telling people Happy Passover. I'm like in the Passover. Because that's the one thing that I really know. I'm like, oh, Moses said that every firstborn son would die. But if you wanted that not to happen to you and you wanted to, free the slaves or whatever and follow his Lord, you would slaughter a lamb and put the lamb's blood over the door. That I knew. I'm clear.
I feel like Jewish people just don't fuck with Jesus, but the Christianity they still
they are the original
Abrahamic.
Yeah, they're the original. Well, I guess not Christians, but like it's not that they don't fuck with Jesus. They just don't think that Jesus was the Son of God. Yeah, the way that they don't think that. But like basically all the other shit is the same, seemingly. Yeah, but it started with like the very orthodox kind of. That was the other thing is that Jesus came through and was like, nah, y'all got all these rules, but you're actually not living your life.
Word. Flipping the tables over. That's when he flipped the table. We get it. We're putting this piece together. He went to the temple, said, listen, I know what y'all really doing here, and flipped the tables over.
Right. So here we are. I learned something else. Lastly, for Girls Weekend, we were at the gun range, and I wept. I shot the gun. And I think we should talk about this another time, but I don't know what came over me. I was ants in the pants the whole time we were there, but I shot that gun and wept.
What does ants in the pants mean?
I was nervous. I had anxiety. I didn't want to feel what that felt like. And by the last bullet, there were tears coming down my eyes. I had sunglasses on and they had to walk me out. And I just went outside and sat down.
You shot all 6?
I shot all 6.
Yeah. Similarly, it's an intense experience. I didn't finish all 6. I stopped at 5. I was like, good. I felt this. I know what this feels like. Don't really like it. And it's like, all right, I'm good. It's intense. The sound, the kickback.
And those empty shells kept hitting, like they would land on my chest and roll down my shirt. And I was like, see? Why?
Oh.
Anyway. Yeah, we're not here for the guns. But shout out to Easter and shout out to ramen noodle salads
Passover.
Passover. Yes, big
And
shout out to
Ramadan.
Passover because I like that holiday a lot.
Because
I'm
Moses
serious.
was lit. That movie, even Beyonce referenced that motherfucking
That
child.
movie is banging.
If Beyonce referenced you in one of her films, you know it was lit.
Yul Brynner,
copycat
incredible. Charles
degrees.
Heston, incredible. Don't play with me. That movie is. You couldn't even kill him. And then he falls with the knife and he throws the sword down. He's just like, da da da. He's gone.
That had little kids in a
He's
chokehold. Little ass
gone.
black kids in a choke. Everybody was in a chokehold from that. That's like a 4-hour movie too.
It is 4 hours. It's 3 hours and 40 minutes. And with commercials, it's a little over 4 hours. And guess who has it rented because I missed it on Easter? Me. And I'm going to watch it at some point this weekend. Oh. But to all of our new listeners, our updates are not usually that long, but I had to get that story out. Welcome. And we've been saying this every single podcast, but we are happy to announce that we will be at the Roots Picnic in Philadelphia on the live podcast stage June 4th. So please come out and check us out there. Also, if you're new here, please feel free to go back, listen to old episodes. I highly suggest I listened to it randomly today, the best of Around the Way Curls, the best of ATWC that we did in like October is hilarious. We actually recorded on my birthday. But welcome. And to those who have been here, please rate, subscribe, share, do all the good things. We're seeing our numbers go up. We're seeing everything growing and it's very excited. So if you could please leave us that review, it would be super helpful. We would be more visible on Apple and Spotify. And Spotify now, you can leave a review and rate the podcast. So yeah, do that. Ciao. All right, pop culture. Oh no, not pop culture. Hot shit. Kendrick Lamar is coming. And yay! I'm very excited about it. Very excited. His upcoming album will be released May 13th. Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, which it's giving like whatever he gave at the Super Bowl with like all those people around him. It's giving like big community kind of, I don't know. I'm excited to hear the sound. He's been quiet for far too long. But he also is a daddy now, so I'm excited to see how that affects him and his music. But we love Kendrick Lamar. But this is his final TDE album. He said, "May the Most High continue to use Top Dog as a vessel for candid creators. As I continue to pursue my life's calling, there is beauty in completion and always faith in the unknown." And I was like, ooh. It's a goddamn bar, right?
It may not be his last album, just with Top Dog.
No, it's just with Top Dog Entertainment. This is his last album.
I love Kendrick, so I am excited. Yes. That's my boy. Now, I have a recommendation for everybody to go out this weekend. When you have about 4 hours of free time, take your pretty ass to the movies and go see Everything Everywhere All at Once. It is a cinematic masterpiece. It is everything you want from a movie. It's action, drama, comedy, existential pondering. Answers are given, questions remain open, and you just leave feeling full and like a better person and capable of amazing things. It's beautiful. Michelle Yeoh, I don't know how to say her name. Michelle Yeoh. She's my new like it girl. She's the it girl.
Who is it? She's the actress or a director?
She's the actress in it. You'll know her from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. She's like the bad Asian bitch that was doing all of the martial arts like from way back in the day. Her story and her legacy is just incredible, and she's about like 59 or something, doing all her own stunts just in her late 50s. She's amazing, and the movie's amazing. And I think that I implore you to go see it so we can talk about it, because it's opened up so much for me, some of which I'll discuss in this episode. Just an Instagram handle that everybody should go take a gander at is Flying Famous Black Girls. It's nothing but an Instagram feed of Black women in the 90s, and they're just far superior. The 2000s are not giving what 90s Black women are giving,
No.
and we are just pitiful for it.
What is 90s Black women? We talking about Nia Long. We're talking about Aaliyah. We're talking who? Stacey Dash before she died.
There's you see a lot of people that are still out. You're seeing Janet. You're seeing Regina Hall. You're seeing
just the way they present.
Just
right?
the way they present.
They were just cool. Yeah.
They were cute. They were. I don't know. They just had more life or something about them. Just more blood in their face or some shit. They didn't look all hollowed out and stiff, and they just
we
felt
all have
more in their
same
bodies
faces now. Yeah,
exactly. Like
I think it has to do with the fact that they probably weren't on social media, so they were just existing.
They were just existing, but they were bad. And it's my favorite kind of photography. It's like a lot of candid shots.
Uh-huh.
I just love it. Everybody, go take a look at it. It's what's her name? There's a shot of Tracy Ellis Ross where you were just like,
when it shows like her silhouette. Oh yeah,
and you're just like, wow, these women were out here just living. Shout out to them in their ute. But follow their handle and get your life.
Speaking of women who were out living, I know you were sick, so have you seen any of these clips of Viola Davis? We love Viola Davis. First, let's preface. Viola follows us on IGs. Viola shows us, she shows us love, or her man, whoever manages her account. She ain't following us.
Put this in the goddamn feed, then.
No, you can't leave this off the stories. We never discussed it, okay? But Viola, first of all, I was really looking forward to seeing her portrayal of Michelle Obama. But Viola has pinpointed something in Michelle Obama that none of us really saw. Nobody needed it.
We didn't need it.
We did need her to point out that Michelle Obama sometimes perks up her lips. And it's sometimes. The way Viola gave us them lips, the way those memes came out.
Viola saw that meme of Michelle rocking that music and was like, that's it. That's it.
What is wrong with girl? And then she was committed and nobody told her. And then there's that clip. She was like, you know what they think you are? A nigga. That's what they think. And I wasn't
mad at that, but
girl, it just felt like a lot. I'm gonna try to watch it, but I don't know if I can. That meme where the person's bent over outside of like a fast food restaurant. They're one of the workers and they're just exhausted. That's how her lips probably just look.
Shut up.
Exhausted. Ran a fucking marathon.
Viola don't play. She said, if I'm going to get it, I'm going to get the essence. And the essence is in the goddamn mouth of Michelle Obama.
That's a caricature. That's not even a portrayal.
She playing tired. With us. She said,
she playing with us. And I love Viola. I really do.
I don't really fuck with the Obamas.
She's
on
a
the
brilliant
low.
actress. But sometimes you go too goddamn far. And we didn't see that in Michelle. Why did she Anyway. The universe is fucking with A$AP Rocky.
The universe is fucking with Rihanna.
Both of them.
Shit. That precious child.
Well, A$AP got arrested today. Why would I laugh? I'm high, sorry. A$AP got arrested today at the Los Angeles airport, apparently for some in connection with something else. I don't know.
Into that set with an old shooting. It's old. This shooting is old.
I know it's old. Why you bringing up old shit?
You can't be arrested niggas on some old ass shootings or some old ass fucking.
My lady is a fucking billionaire.
In the past, like.
Right, relax. Be easy. I got a kid coming. Doing too much. Anyway, they arrested him, and then some awful human who does this? Spread a rumor, and why did it catch fire? That's another important question. Spread a rumor about A$AP cheating on Rihanna with someone that Rihanna works for, and it's just
works for? Who
works with
Rihanna for? First of all, I want to know who that person is that
she's still working for that label. Sadly, that's why she don't want to put this shit. Or maybe she's not. Maybe that's why she's not putting it out because she was giving us albums every 3 or 4 months at a time trying to get out that contract.
I don't have that. I don't have the album.
But anyway, works with. And I don't care to really discuss Rihanna and ASAP as much, but I'm more so interested in like what is wrong with us? Why do humans like chaos? And the way this story just started spreading like wildfire. And then this man came out and was like, "Oh, I want to apologize for saying that it wasn't true." Like,
he said he heard it from somebody else. But even if you heard it from somebody else, what the fuck makes you think you need to? Like, if I heard some shit, I wouldn't go online and.
And we have to remember that there is a pregnant woman who is. That's got to be a lot. Like, stop. Everybody needs to stop. But why isn't just seeing their joy enough? What's wrong with us? I'm really asking.
We're not well, and that's not as interesting. And we want the drama.
It was so interesting. It was so interesting when she dropped those wedding pictures.
She's been giving us enough intrigue and drama and salaciousness with just an outfit.
Her being.
Just walk into the room.
I don't know. I'm really hoping that people question that. And like, if you did spread it and you didn't know, like I saw people who I personally know posting that, like on their stories or when they're like, why are you, what do you get from that? You're not fucking the Shade Room, who that's their business model. You don't even know these two people and you just can't wait to post that.
Oh, I don't know. For real rap though. Prayers and arms around Rihanna, because that's scary. Even with her power, even with her influence, even with her money, that's terrifying and frustrating and scary as fuck. To be in such a vulnerable place and about to be giving birth and have your partner, somebody that you love, not potentially be there for the birth of your child. That's the shit. And this case, listen, I don't know nothing about nothing. Threatening somebody's life. I shot a gun this weekend. It's no joke. If you're doing that with intent to kill, there should be some kind of consequence. But that case sounds weird to me. You said it grazed by him, or like
what's the case
that ASAP Rocky shot at the person and that it great girl. What are we talking? We are high.
Oh no! I knew you were talking. I didn't know. I just knew it had something to do with the shooting. I didn't know.
No, they said that
I thought he witnessed
Rocky
something.
Like walked up on some guy and shot at him, and the bullet grazed him. Which it's like, but did it kill you though? Did it penetrate
no, that's terrible.
No.
Did it kill you though? Can Rihanna have it? Let him out. That's not, no, that's terrible. Yeah, no.
Another news, something that was terrible, but I think I can't say it's come full circle, but I really love how this the response. Isaiah Rashad, that was the rapper who's I was just
that you
enamored by. It's so funny. A lot of y'all in response to that were like, that wasn't even that crazy. Like that was nothing. And I was
really
like,
here go these BPW bitches.
I'm telling you,
thinking they got it all.
Like that shit was not even that good, and it might not have been that good, but it was the fact that it was Isaiah Rashad. It's a man. It's like, imagine you found Kendrick Lamar is sucking a man's dick and enjoying it and just like doing a good job.
Or Jonathan Majors.
Or Jonathan. I know he go.
You know,
I would kind of be turned out.
Maybe.
I would be turned if I saw him and he was enjoying it and doing a great job. I would say, "Whoa, Nelly, this life is fantastic. The possibilities endless."
Equipped, he has all the tools.
Anyway, not to be sidetracked, but girl, that is an image that is always in my mind rent free now when I need it. And that's interesting for me. I'm gonna go back for that. That's something that's like, oh,
you gotta unpack that.
Isaiah Rashad was outed by this video in which he was performing fellatio on an unknown participant consensually, and it was shared everywhere, and everybody was just like shocked but then also it was like a slow clap for him. Like everybody was shocked, and then everybody was like, "Yo, that shit don't matter. Like we still fuck with you. He's still an amazing rapper." Like even hard ass rappers who we assume would be like, "Oh, that shit gay." Like the fuck up. We're like, "Nah, that nigga's still hard. Like he's still an incredible artist. I don't got nothing to do with nothing." So it's basically
times changing. That makes
times
me so
are changing, and he was at Coachella. And you could hear him getting choked up on stage where he was just basically like, yo, I was at my low. Like, I was ready to tap out.
You motherfuckers saved me. Yeah.
But you saved me. And he is a really sensitive, vulnerable cat because he's had, like, mental health, suicidal issues in the past. So, like, I was so scared and sad when this came out. But it seems like, you know,
community uplifted.
It seems like the community uplifted him, and I just can't wait for hard ass rap niggas to be like, "Yo, I fucked your bitch and your dude. I suck dick better than
listen."
Tyler the Creator,
like, Tyler the Creator is there. I love it,
and I love Tyler the Creator, and I love first of all Frank Ocean, like these niggas that have paved the way. And have completely flipped the narrative and like what we are assuming, you know, R&B or like hard crazy rap niggas are supposed to be, and it's beautiful and magical. So shout out to that. I loved it.
Loved it. In other news, I looked at this because you know that I've always said if I ever get married, I'm gonna have a potluck. It's gonna be like a potluck barbecue. California couple only spends $500 on a wedding. Guests pay for their own meal and drinks at the reception. They had the wedding on the freeway. Her dress was $49
on the freeway.
On the freeway,
what does that
in
mean?
Cali, on like a hill.
Okay.
So they just literally were like, pull over, everybody pull up. There's like a little divot in one of these cliffs, and they got married there. And they interviewed the bride. The bride was just saying, she was reiterating, I'm not about to spend a whole bunch of money on one day. The people that really wanted to be there knew what time it was. She literally said, knew what time it was, and we're basically with the shits. I see nothing wrong with this.
Girl, the way I would buy for my own dinner and drink at your wedding, I would buy 3 other people some dinners and drinks at your wedding. Who gives a fuck?
Because you were supposed to pay for your own plate at somebody's wedding anyway. You're supposed to give them that money. What? As a gift.
Never knew.
That's why they have those little envelopes. You be going to people's weddings and not paying for your plate.
No, I didn't know that was the thing, but like I didn't know that was what you're supposed to. You're supposed to know what it costs.
Bitch, you gotta guess. First of all, this is a PSA. If you're invited to somebody's wedding and they have a sit down dinner, and it's not like a hippy dippy wedding, of like the one that I'm talking about, you need to come with a card, and in that card, you need to guesstimate how much it costs for them to have you at their wedding.
Oh wow.
And you're supposed to give them that or more as a gift.
Never knew it. I thought you just give a gift, like a gift, the money. I know you give a money gift to the couple, but I didn't know
it's supposed to yes, you do, but it's supposed to equate to at least your meal.
Word.
Don't pull up to people's weddings with $20. Like, stop.
I would never do that.
Hi, here is gas money.
But if somebody pulled up with $20 at my wedding, I'd be grateful as well.
And I would take it. But I'm just, what do you think about this? What would you think about this? Like, you see anything wrong with it?
Especially it depends on the people, right? Like if it's a young couple, if they just getting their shit together, they're just coming up, that's their MO. I support it. I'd be like, yeah, we pulling up. Takes the pressure off me too. Like, let me just get a cheap dress. I don't have to look all fancy and whatnot.
Yeah.
Let me buy a little dinner.
No, she still looks fancy. I don't know how she did it. But
listen,
we're cheap. So
I also would probably just not have a wedding.
If
right?
it
Like
was
I
going
just
to
like
cost
have a
that
party,
much.
but a party would probably cost more money than that as well.
Exactly. That's why this was
So
brilliant. When you throw your own house party, it costs mad money. How much
yeah,
money you think Jazz spent this weekend?
yeah,
All
probably
that
cost more
food and
money.
everything else. A lot. Mm-mm. Y'all bet we gonna go out to eat. We gonna go out to eat and everybody gets a bill.
Just y'all just can't hear I'm married days later.
I
Like
already know.
you know.
I better at least come to the courthouse. I will be so mad. And Amanda will kill you. You saw how she was with Kayla. She was like, I'm in the wedding and I'm planning it. Kayla was like, but you're not. Anyway, I have one last thing, and this made me feel like such a loser. But fuck boys and fuck girls. I guess you gotta define what winning is, but they be feeling like they winning. So I found out that that little girl,
They be winning.
that little
Yeah.
girl, Catch Me Outside,
Girl, she's a
the little
star.
white
Stop
girl
playing
that
with me.
seemed like she was Puerto Rican. She just bought a $6.1 million home with cash. Yeah.
Is she making wise choices though? That might be all she has.
Why does she have $6.1 million? What did she do to get that? That's not even my point. Like, wait, I work so hard every day. I have my work computer open right now. I'm waiting for a ping. Like, I'm still
Girl.
working. It is 10 o'clock. I don't have $6.1 million. Why are you winning? And then the Takashi boy with the rainbow hair.
Obsessed with him.
That
Obsessed with him.
annoys me. You better not be obsessed
What is
in a
his
good way.
deal? Like, is he
He's
gonna die soon? He's so strange. Is he
I
have a
think
soul?
It's not even funny, Shanti, because he's out here talking about, you know, that he rolled on these gangs and these gang
Yeah.
members with the feds.
Yeah.
And so he's just out here like, they ain't gonna do nothing to me. Ain't nobody pull up on me yet.
Is
And
he
it's like, oh
happy?
no, it's gonna be so sad when you die. Because he's just so cocky.
He's such a carrot, but there's something about him too.
But
He's-
he was on,
he's a son. I
that's
think
not
he's a
even my
Cancer.
point. He was on there just with all, I hit the mic, with all this money and multiple cars and this and that. And I'm like, how are y'all getting this? Like, is it me? How are people making this much money who are losers? They're not even like quality. It's not quality entertainment. It's not quality anything. It's whack.
Well, 5 hours ago, TMZ just confirmed that Tekashi 6ix9ine was in fact flexing with fake cash in recent videos.
I love it here. That makes me feel a little better. But should it? That's fucked up. But I'm just saying, I also see this Tokyo Tony. I believe that she is
Who are
Black
these
China's.
people?
Exactly. I believe she's Black China's mother. And they suing the Kardashians.
Oh, I know. I know.
Child, I don't know what's going on. I really don't. But these people, why are they even famous? What is going on?
Well, you know what it lets you know, Internet? There's a lot
We gotta be fuck boys and fuck girls.
No,
We're one raggedy clip away from making it, Shanti. Let's go.
Well, and also that there's a lot of money out here. There's a lot of money out here.
But the top people, they just hoarding it. I'm telling
Well,
you, we need a sex.
There's
Give us
so
a
much.
sex tape.
Yeah, they're really hoarding it.
You
But
know what?
There's money to be made, Queen.
Give us a sex tape, Shanti, with you sucking dick.
No,
And then we're gonna.
you got the DSLs now. I'll just
Ooh,
be.
don't disrespect me or whatever. Like,
You know what? I just, they say that money doesn't make you happy.
it does.
I just want to learn that from myself. I
Right.
want to have that spiritual journey.
Like, money gives you access to
No.
do fun shit that could make me happy. It might could, y'all.
I want to have my own, what is it? Bodhisattva journey. What's his name?
What the fuck?
What's his name? Bodhisattva. What's his
I
name?
don't know who that
The
is.
book we had to read in school is about the journey of Buddha.
Oh, I don't know that, honey.
Yes, you do, Internet.
No,
We did an
I
episode on it.
Really? Oh no.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, all I know is being born to two poor people. I was about to say something fucked up, but I thought about it, but I am gonna say it. To be biracial and be married to a poor white is so rude.
Poor white moms.
It's like, how dare you? Of all the whites that I could have gotten, you gave me this one. Stop playing, yo.
A shame.
Jay and Judy. When there's Beyonce and Jay. Man. When there's Rihanna and A$AP. No, that's terrible. I love my parents. I couldn't have asked for better ones. But they could have had
All
a little
I'm
more
saying
money.
is, I want to have that spiritual journey of finding out money doesn't make me happy on my own. I need to have that arc. I don't want to just believe it. I want to feel it, experience it.
Right. Otherwise, it's just words. In other news, oh God, I'm going to try to do politics as usual. Florida is hell. Florida is hell. Florida is hell. That's basically it. Florida has banned more than 50 math textbooks, mostly
Not the math.
mostly K through third grade,
Child.
and citing critical race theory as the cause, saying that these math books were woke. They were woke, and it was woke arithmetic. Child.
Just saying how white people made disproportionately more money than black kids.
Probably.
Like,
Well, the craziest part is that we don't even know. I watched Fox News on this a little bit, and they didn't cite any sources either, and they just kept doing their dog whistles of, I'm so happy Governor DeSantis is protecting our children and getting these woke theories out of schools and and I was just like, well, why did you ban these books? So then in further research, Florida did not name the textbooks banned or provide example passages for why they were banned, but they described the review process as transparent. They go, what? Nobody knows why, and they're just like,
is this really
banned.
scary? First, they banned the books. Don't they got this? Ain't this in some fucking history books and shit? First, they banned the books.
Yes.
Isn't that like?
Yes.
Isn't like a thing that they reread?
And they're not even banning they're not even banning novels. They're not banning history. They are banning math now, arithmetic.
Talk about the disproportion of wealth between blacks and white. Hakeem's family. That's what happened.
Oh God. Also, Florida judge strikes down travel mask mandate.
These
and you just
first of all, we need to wear masks on the plane all the time because that air is so disgusting.
Yes. So people, they were showing, on NPR on Instagram, they showed a clip of all of these people basically learning that the mask learning that the mask mandate has been lifted. And so they're white, cheering.
Like
they're
white women
taking off their masks.
Yeah,
they just having a good old time celebration on this plane. Well,
who you see in the middle of the aisle?
Baby, this black human was like, get me off this plane. But I wrote in the comments, this is hell. And when I tell you, all day my Instagram was flooded with responses to that from these Walmart whites cussing me out, calling me all kinds of pig, all kinds of, like, going in on me. You don't know anything, you stupid bitch. Like, going in. I hope you die from COVID since you're so afraid of it.
Shout out to your engagement, queen.
All because I said on the thing that this was hell. Child. That's how you know these people are nuts.
No, but you see the one with the black guy, the black steward, what they called? Flight attendant, waving his mask and everything too. I said, wow, shame. What's wrong with you?
Shame. Well, anyway, good luck to all of us traveling. And the last thing that Florida's held for is that Governor DeSantis got his little feelings hurt because Disney spoke out about his Don't Say Gay bill. And now Governor DeSantis is moving to end the self-governance that Disney has. So back in the day, Disney bought that land in Florida when it was like still swamp and bullshit, but it's a self-governing land. So like they have their own electricity, their own, like it's literally Disney World. It's its own thing. It has its, like, it doesn't technically have to abide by the law.
Why they don't have this for black people? Why they kill every black community that tries to do the same damn thing?
Exactly.
I'm so mad by that.
They have to abide by federal law, but I think like they have the state law. It's they're its own sovereign part of the state, which is absolutely insane. But also, he's picking this fight because he's mad that the folks at Disney spoke out about this bill, said that it was wrong, and then went on to say that they were going to work to overturn it. I just want to say that Disney is the single largest one location employer for Florida. It gives the Republican Party millions of dollars. It helps fund that both Republican parties and the Democratic Party. It would be a disaster for Florida to go to war with Disney. Disney is, this sounds crazy, but they are wildly powerful. And if Disney wanted to punish Florida, it could. But also, this is so stupid because he's literally picking this fight just because Disney spoke out. And Disney spoke out, I think, because they probably felt like they had to. But keep in mind, Disney is still funneling money into the Republican Party. So obviously, they're still beneficial to you and they're still in support of said Republican Party. So just leave it alone. They just are... This is just
Disney's
dumb.
fan base was pissed off. Disney's fan base were the ones
but they're still funneling the money, so it doesn't make sense for DeSantis to go after them. Oh, and this is all ego because he literally said, Disney is a guest in Florida. This will remind them. Like, what are you doing?
Like, I built this shit. I'm King Kong.
Disney is responsible for the airport turning into that airport. Like, it was this little jet airport before. It was a swampland.
Put some respect
when Walt Disney went over there. Not that I'm saying I also think we should go back and talk about the fact that Disney is its own sovereign.
Disney out here politicking. It's a mob. It's basically a mob organization.
No, it is. It's more powerful than I'm even comfortable with, or even can wrap my head around. But that's for me to research a little more. I'm gonna skip this next one, but just know that Joe Biden is working on y'all school loans, and the midterms is coming up in 5 or 7 months, I think. But just remember, he just got, I think, 30 million, I don't remember, 30 something people more school loan. I'm struggling. You see?
Girl, what did you just say? 30 or 30 million?
30 million. I think $30 million worth of school loans forgiven. Yeah. So it's not all school loan wiped out.
It is not.
He said. But he's working. I think it gets real tricky when you get in there and you if we did get rid of all the school loan, what would happen now? So we'll see. We rambled a bit, but we do have 2 voicemails. Should I play them or do you want me to save them? Because we actually have 5.
Wait, what?
We actually have 5 voicemails, so I put 2
the people want to talk to us. Wow. Let me
all right, I'll play this one.
100 Hustler. Who this?
Hi, Santi. Hi, Antoinette. I just want to thank you guys for last week's episode of Ass Eating May Kill You or something like that. Listening to you guys reminded me that the human experience is a shared experience. And Santi, when you mentioned that you were feeling some ugly feelings about yourself, I felt seen in that moment because last week I was experiencing many of those same feelings. And Antoinette, the way that you speak to Shanti when you call her queen reminds me that I needed to see my best friends and that I needed to feel their energy. Listening to you guys just reminds me that there is healing in friendship and in sisterhood and that we are not meant to do this life alone. You guys are my friends in my head, my big sisters, my cousins. I thank you guys for the platform that you have created and the fact that we get to share and listen to all of the crazy, raunchy, healing, funny, goofy, uplifting messages that you give us. Thank you so much, Queens. You healed me last week. I'm a better version of myself today because of you guys. Thank you.
In the hallelujah.
It's the sweetest. That is the sweetest message. First of all, I ain't listened to him, but that's the sweetest message ever. Also, really well spoken. She didn't say once. And I can't believe that Ass Eat May Kill You got all that. Got all that. Like,
It was the fucking title for me. I think that's what people were like, what?
well, it's provocative. Gotta get the people going. Anyway, thank you so much for that message. I'll play one more. See what this is.
Hi, what's up, ladies? This is Christine from Chicago. This is actually my second time calling, and I'm listening to the most recent podcast show, and y'all are talking about the Bible. I had to pause and call because you guys are off the chain. I had to think about it too, like, oh, did Goliath have one eye? Was he a cyclops? Like, yeah, y'all have me thinking. But I think that's one of the great things about you guys' show. I never know what's going to happen, but I always have a good time. I appreciate the duality of both of you in, when you guys have conversations and have varying views, and sometimes Shanti's perspectives are off the wall, but they make sense, and they have you thinking, and sometimes Antoinette's perspective, I sometimes think I'm leaning towards Antoinette's perspective, but Shanti, she makes some points at times, and I'm like, oh, I never thought about it this way. So it's really refreshing to listen to you ladies every week. Just keep doing what you're doing. We love you. We love your show. And congratulations on the Roots Picnic. Can't wait to see y'all. Cheers.
I forgot you said that.
What?
I forgot you said that. Was Goliath the Cyclops?
He could have one eye, or he shot him and he lost the eye, or he had to get him in the one eye, which was the third eye.
I think he had to get him in the one eye. But also, thank you so much for that message, Christine, from Chicago. Oh, my cat is begging me to. I really appreciate those messages. Wow, thank y'all so much. That's dope. Well, I think that I would love to hear from more people, especially since we have new listeners. So please, if you are inclined, please give us a call at 215-948-2780. That's 215-948-2780. And we want to shout out all of the new patrons. If you are not aware, you can watch these episodes on our lovely Patreon channel. We have subscriptions for as little as $5 a month. So please join us there. And new patrons include Lillian A., Leah, Shernita H., Soja, Conbray, Jazz, Jessica M., Brianna M. Oh, and I wrote Soja twice, sorry. But shout out to y'all. Thank you so much for joining us there and for supporting us. Mm-hmm. So let's take a break, Sheila, and come back with the topic.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Boop.
Let me blow my nose. My apologies.
Oh my God, you could have muted yourself. Why couldn't you have muted yourself on this video?
I know what I'm feeling.
I don't care.
It increases your empathy.
I don't care because look at this
Don't even
cat.
finish
You
your
hear
sentence
that cat?
because I don't want to hear it.
I was gonna say because I realized I don't know why I went back and listened to some episodes, and I heard that episode when I had COVID and I didn't know what COVID was, and I was like,
You could not
in the
breathe.
mic. I could not breathe.
You had COVID so many times.
COVID twice, asshole.
No, you had COVID back when the first.
Oh yeah, I had COVID
wave.
in December.
That was
and
the
then
first.
December was when I was in Chicago. Yeah.
Whenever you
So
came
I
back
had-
from Africa, girl.
No,
How
I
about
had that was March when I had COVID. I was back from Africa. You being racist. I was back from Africa in January. So I got COVID in New York in March,
Oh.
somewhere.
You was running around though, because you
I
came
had
back and went
COVID
to New
on that.
Orleans or something. You was traveling
Yes,
around.
that was when I was traveling. I was a super spreader. When I got COVID the first time, I was on a airline on a Delta flight going to Chicago, and I couldn't
Girl.
breathe on the flight.
And blamed
And-
it on your coworker. You like this sickly coworker of mine.
Well,
She
that's who
always-
gave me COVID. That's who gave me COVID. Yes,
She-
I remember
This bitch
now.
can't breathe either.
She couldn't breathe, and I was like, she is sick, but she was sick. She was like blowing her nose like she was sick, but then she also was at her desk like that and had all these inhalers. And so she came in and I saw her inhaler and I was like, sit at my desk like that too. I'm thinking, oh, this bitch done gave me pneumonia. Like she didn't gave me something that's giving me pneumonia. No, she gave me COVID, a deadly disease that no one knew about.
I never grew into a global.
Annie. Yo, she helped me spread it. I
Tell
felt
her.
so bad. I must have been on at least, that was when I was traveling for work every weekend almost. I must have been on at least 3 flights with COVID because I had it for a minute. I could breathe, but I was sick. Anyway, that was an aside. That makes me sad, but I really didn't know. I didn't know.
You're like, I'm all right.
And then it got bad again. It started getting bad again in March. And that was when I went to the hospital and they told me, oh, you have anxiety. I said, I don't think.
He said you got anxiety?
Yeah, they told me I had anxiety. And then they
I
gave
thought
me
the
an
doctor
asthma
just said,
pump.
no, you're okay. You have anxiety.
He did. That's what they said because I didn't have a fever. So they wouldn't give me a real test. Like they didn't even have tests like that then. They were like, if you don't have a fever, then you don't
like
have it.
COVID? COVID? Cooties? I don't know. We don't have tests for that.
Yeah. All right. What's this? Wait. What is this? We about to get serious?
Yeah, sorry. Unfortunately, it'll be okay. You're just gonna have to go back into your past childhood trauma.
Shanti.
It'll be okay. What? You ain't looking the outline out? That's your fault.
When did you do it? First of all, I just got back in here. I shoved some food down my face, and let me tell you, I had just had the best Caribbean food I ever had in my life.
Where you get that from? Probably some corridor cracked out.
Yes, and that was the one where all of Black's friends, when we were up here hanging, they kept saying, you have to go there, you have to go there. I'm like, all right, cool. It's just one of those spots where you stand behind the glass and you tell them what to put in your shit. I had curry goat and barbecue chicken.
Oh, you got the meat combo.
No, I've got 2 separate things, but you can get a small meat that has a ton of meat in it for $8. So I was like, listen, when Shanti and Amanda come up here,
We're coming up there just for that.
no, I'm dead ass serious.
I'm
like
not.
dead ass.
I'm not joking either. Who's talking to?
Like, you need to come up here. We're gonna get jerk chicken from the other spot right across the street, but we're gonna get curry goats. We're gonna get barbecue chicken. We're gonna get oxtails, and we're gonna get stew chicken. And we just gonna sit down and maybe something else. You want some Escovitch fish? We're gonna sit down
Get some ginger beers.
and with some ginger beers
gonna
on
be
this
hot.
couch, and we are gonna fuck it up
And then-
and maybe throw up afterwards. I don't know, but it was the barbecue chicken was dumb good. I was like, oh my
I
god,
would love that for us.
they had
And
rasta pasta. They plantains look like trash, but
I'm trying to go on that diet you said.
I know it didn't work today. I actually ate really well today. What did I have? I had my yogurt with fruit in the morning, my Greek yogurt. I had a salad for lunch, delicious salad with all them greens from the weekend. I'm still fucking them greens up.
Oh, you
And
ain't
then
put them greens.
Oh, I took all of them greens, and I got the olive oil because she left it, and I was the last person in the
You
house.
stole that from her, really?
I didn't steal it from her. She left it at the house, and I was like, "You ain't gonna use this olive oil. She gonna cook with
Wow.
it. You don't cook with olive oil. You're not supposed to. If you're a real Italian, you would know that. Oh, but you're not Italian. What you eating?
Salad.
That look real close to that ramen noodle salad I had.
You traumatized by
cabbage in
cabbage,
there.
huh? I love
With my
cabbage.
purple cabbage.
It's my favorite.
Purple cabbage, craisins, scallions, regular cabbage, a little shredded carrot, and them fucking ramen noodles. Yo.
That is what basically I'm eating, minus the noodles.
Wow, but there was no leaves, no leafy
Oh.
greens. That's it.
I
Did
love
you see that picture?
cabbage.
Cabbage is delicious.
Good roughage.
Their cabbage was good too over there, but theirs was cooked, so there's no nutritional value.
No nutrients left.
No.
The greens ain't even have a lot of nutrients left.
Why?
That vegan food will fuck around and give you hypertension just like you
Oh
eating a
yeah, you
hamburger.
talk about the greens she cooked. And I thought you was talking about the mixed greens. I know. She just
Like,
boiled it all out.
This is vegan. Vegan don't mean this shit's good for you.
No, because those greens had mad maple syrup in it. I was like, that's that sweetness y'all tasting. It's like,
Oh, it had maple syrup?
yeah, you couldn't
Maple
taste
syrup's
that.
good for you.
Not as much as was in them greens. The water from the greens was like
Right.
dark brown.
Let's go. Time to get serious, cry a little, ponder a bit.
Oh my
Let's go.
God. So
I'm really curious to what you think about this part.
I'm not going to be able to do well here. Go.
You better pull it the fuck together. So over the Easter weekend, Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union, Black Excellence, our social media mavens, celebrated with their family and shared it with all of us minions online. And in their sharing, they portrayed their eldest children. I don't know the son's name. That's a shame. I should know his name. But their eldest children were all coupled up with their significant others. So the eldest son and their daughter, Zaya Wade, with her assumed boyfriend, were all in these pictures. And I think on Zaya Wade's own personal account, or I think it might have been the Gabrielle or Dwayne Wade, one of which they shared a photo of Zaya Wade kissing her boyfriend at the event. And Zaya Wade is 14 years old. And of course, there's been all this controversy over her being transgender, da 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 da. But the social media erupted with concern and judgment, condemnation about the behavior of Zaya and the allowance of her parents in having her kiss her partner in front of in their presence and then sharing it online.
I
And
see that.
as a parent, my visceral response was, yeah, get the fuck out of here. Like, I wish I would have like an Easter function and JoJo invites her friend and they start kissing in front of me. I would feel viscerally uncomfortable. And I was feeling rather righteous in my response or stuck in my response. But I sat with it for a while and I went back to the theme of this movie again. And there's a theme about generational, I guess for lack of a better word, generational curses on how, especially with parents, our fears or our need to control our kids results in breaking them in particular ways. We break something in them in the ways that we, to our parents' defense, we want to protect them or make them better. And I was sitting with my own response to being like, why wouldn't Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle stop that shit? Why wouldn't they don't do that? Especially that respect, appropriateness, whatever. I'm still not in a space where I can honestly say, oh yeah, that would have been that I would be comfortable with it. But it definitely did crack open a part of me and made me see, again, I had many moments this weekend where there's there's the energy that I have towards my daughter is like this. I want to, it's closed fist. It's not open. There's a lot of forcing. There's not a lot of flowing. And when you watch this movie and you see it, the consequence of that is it can be monumental. And so I wanted to kind of tap into this idea of breaking people in particular ways. There's of course there's the parent and child dynamic in which you can break something in your relationship, or you want the kid to surrender something or be something else. But it's often, and when I was thinking about it more, I was like, oh, Antoinette may not be able to relate to this, but in reality, this is something that happens in all relationships. There's always this possibility of like, oh, I want to snuff this out in this person in the name of my protection, their protection, whatever you're reasoning for, whatever makes you feel like you have a right to like have this closed fist with them. And so I want to unpack that a little bit. But first, I want to get what is your response to a 14-year-old child at an event kissing their partner in front of you as a parent, or as an aunt or family member, friend? What is your response? And where does it come from?
I think it depends on the child. I was not kissing anybody at 14 in front of my parents ever. But I'm also not Zaya. I'm also not someone who, their very existence, I think that Zaya doing that is like an act of resistance. And Zaya doing that is also something that her parents would probably be more inclined to accept, because they're working so actively to accept her, right? I also think that I looked it up and I see there's more than one picture, and it looks like she pulled away right away. The still that they're showing looks like they were holding a pet kiss for a long period of time. She wasn't tonguing anybody down or anything like that, right? But the stills look like it was a mwah, and she did it for a picture. I don't think that would bother me as much, especially if it's Zaya. If I know that, she has fought and struggled with being able to do this. I think it might be a little different, which is fucked up, if it was just a regular schmegular kid.
Being who needs to express and be their whole ass selves as well.
I know. I'm saying what I think with people. I know that growing up, for me personally, again, I don't have kids, but I wasn't allowed to be a sexual being in front of my parents, or to be expressive in that way. Shockingly, my dad was actually more open to it. I think because he wanted to know what was going on with me, because he wanted to be able to fuck somebody up if necessary. But my mom had a lot more shame. And it was just a lot more like, don't, like, that's a hoe, that's this, she never used the word fast, but she would be like, that's gross, or, those kinds of things. It was less about you going to respect me. It was more about, and it wasn't yourself. Like, know a child's place. It was more about, don't be a hoe, shame. It was more that. So I don't think it was always out of protection, because I don't think it grew from that place, because it wasn't explained to me of why. I felt like it was more about, you better not be doing this out in the fucking street and embarrassing me.
Isn't that respect?
I guess, but it wasn't like you have to respect me because I'm your parent. It was more like, you're not gonna look like a hoe. That was more attached to that, in my opinion.
But I think what you said, and again, shout out to trans folks, because I think we said this before, the marginalized of the marginalized often are the canary in the mine that lets you know like shit is not right.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that, there's all of this space or the expectations of how one should exist or how one should be are lifted from Zaya. But if it were another, cisgendered child, it would be less of, the expectations are different.
Yeah,
but there's a cost. That's the thing, that there's a cost to these expectations. And I see them in myself. I think when I think about the expectations, and I largely did not have parents. My parents were not like your parents in that they were like, where you at? Who you with? Call me when you get there. I was out here running these streets of Philadelphia doing lots of hood rat things. But still, there was an expectation of me, especially that they still have of me, that I feel is a tight grip that wants to, if I'm not aware, excuse me for spinning all over the place, if I'm not aware, I surrender something of myself to them in our relationship, often every time we interact, and that they have these expectations of me I think to just give a certain amount of time to them, to, of course, agree with all of their ideas that they have. And I think for the first time, I mean, I felt it energetically, it's always existed, but I think now I'm really thinking about the consequence of that, and like what happens when you let go. What happens? What is there's something amazing, and I love, I don't quite understand it yet, but I love that Dwayne and Gabrielle made this decision. Maybe they didn't even know was that Zaya's page that she posted that, or
I don't see it on Zaya's either.
Maybe they didn't even know, but if they even did post this letting go, especially in the areas where you feel the most fear, like if you just let go, what happens? And that also terrifies me, because I don't know what the tipping point of that is. And how do you know what the tipping point is of like, all right, I'm gonna let this go. I'm really scared for my daughter to be taken advantage of or to be physically harmed out in these streets, because that's a real reality. But also, I'm not going to suppress or deny or shame her, or even try to put a age where her sexuality is appropriate for it to be made manifest. How do you do that? How do you even, like, who says a 10-year-old? I don't know. I think
it tumbles a lot of conversation. A lot. I don't think Gabrielle Union or Dwayne Wade just let go. I think there's a trust that after many conversations,
they're letting go. Yeah, it's like
it's a gradual thing too, of like, okay, I know that the more I could show that I was responsible, or that I was emotionally mature, had integrity about me, and had respect for both myself and my family name, my parents, that the more rope I got. I think my parents, my dad especially, did a really good job of loosening that grip. He had it around my fucking throat for a long time. And then at some point he kind of realized like, oh, she's a young woman, and it started to loosen, but there were tests along the way. And I don't know if testing the child is right. Again, I don't have a kid. I'm surely going to do shit like that. But I think that that's the foundation of Gabrielle and Dwayne's relationship with their daughter and with their kids. And whenever you hear her talk about it, and of course I love The View, but she was just recently on The View talking about it and how much goes into like preparation.
But what if the kid doesn't prove to be responsible?
Well, then you can't loosen the grip just yet.
But what is the consequence of that? If the tightening isn't helping, right? If the tightening isn't helping,
then it's more conversation. I think then it's more conversation. It's more hand holding. It might not be that you have your arms wrapped around the kid so tight that they can't function, but you have to. The kid's not ready. The kid's not emotionally where they need to be. Again, I don't have a kid, but also I think sometimes the fucking tightening has to happen too, because sometimes you have to know the kid. There are some kids that the way that they learn is almost by like self-sabotage and like their own demise. And with that, it's like you got to grip them up to save them from themselves at some point until they're at a place where like something happens where it clicks maybe. I don't know. But these are kids, as they get older, as age has something to do with it as well. Like your daughter, how old is Joe?
11.
11. I don't think that your grip has to be any more loose than what it is.
That's not my worry point with Joe. Like I'm not. I would be shocked. I would be shocked if I don't know how I'll respond to that. We'll get there when we get there. But I think that there are different expectations, and again, I think it would be really short-sighted to think that it's only between a parent and a child that there's this expectation where there's this source of tightness in it's in all of your relationships. I think it exists in all relationships, and there's a consequence to it. And it requires like an awareness and a letting go. You said that your parents, that you're thankful rather of the areas where you felt like your parents held on tight. What areas do you feel like they broke you though? There's one thing to like, I'm going to have you do this one thing. Are there other areas where you felt like, oh, that broke something in me that you're recovering from?
I think the area that comes to mind, I will say all the rules that they put in place, all of the discipline, I don't have any regrets over it, in all honesty. I will say the two things that I wish could have went differently is that the way they held the grip, because it kept me out of trouble. They knew I needed that. But the way that they held it was with shame when it came to everything. And I have internalized shame if I am not performing at my best or whatever that is. If I feel like I'm not peak Antoinette, I'm filled with shame. Mm-hmm. I will also say that the way my mother tried to protect me from people, making fun of me or anything is around my weight and rules, or not rules, but reinforcing that grip around not wanting me to be the fat kid. Mm-hmm. And so that is something that I'll say I'm still absolutely working through. Like her trying to protect me with this very narrow view of like, just weight and just all of that is still something that bothers me to this day, that I hear. when I make the decisions I make around food or working out, or if something doesn't fit the way I want it to fit, I hear it.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I think it's also something in our friendship dynamics where I don't know if we like make these. I think we're doing a lot better with it. But there's like the girl, because you know, you've been dealing with this thing for a minute, and I'm so proud of like how you've moved through this thing. Or there's like this reinforcement of a narrative of each of who we are, and like our there's not always the space for us to be separate from these struggles that we've had in some kind of ways. And we like our upliftment or our like, the stories that the way that we encourage people is also often still like around these, not even letting go of that narrative or even just deadening these past selves or these past struggles that we've been through. And I think that's another way in which we sometimes keep this. I don't know. A hold's not the word. I wish I could. If you see the movie, you'd understand it more. But yeah, it's like this hold around this, like these hard, tender parts of us, and what happens when you let it go. I know with JoJo, my fear around her fitting in, I think because my parents were so goddamn quirky, I want her to fit into like be able to maneuver and fit into like academics in a way that was really something that I could do. And so I feel myself doing this, saying the silent, planting these seeds of like worry into her that, just like you said, are becoming her inner voice. So, and then when she says it, when she'll like repeat it, I can hear it's my voice. It's not hers. It's not hers. It's her just kind of like learning to doubt herself or learning to create this thing that I've put into her. And I was like, oh shit, but how do I not even, do I just not even bring it up? How does it not become like, it's wild. I don't have an answer for it. I think it's such a
you have to bring it up though. You have to bring it up. So maybe it's the way you do it. Maybe it's not from fear. Maybe it's an offering or an explanation of like, hey, these are the different scenarios here that I see. What do you think?
It's the
what do you
adjustment
feel?
Of what I see. It's what I feel. It's not how I say it. That doesn't matter because the energy is the energy, and she's just an energetic being. They're going to pick up what you're putting down. If there's fear, if there's judgment behind it, whether I'm saying with a smile or a grimace, she's going to be, the energy is the same. So it's figuring out how to adjust that fear in the first place and not put that on her. And not keep her tightened up in that, because there's a consequence to it. If it happens often enough, it breaks something, and it breaks a possibility of how she could see herself. You know, had that not been the way your mom spoke to you or put her fear on you, there was another possibility in which you don't even see yourself. That voice isn't even there. It's replaced with an entirely different voice. But it's just something that I've become aware of. And I think a lot of people, I think it's important that a lot of us become aware of it in all of our relationships with our little ones, especially because there's that power dynamic there where you just kind of like free fall and do whatever the fuck because you have the ability to do so, and they're naive to it, they're ignorant to it. But also in our friendships, um, in all of our relationships.
Can
What?
I ask you, how do you feel? In what ways could I be holding on with a closed fist?
I think you're always trying to manage just how we work differently. And I think there's always like a damage control that you're trying to like avoid and think 4 steps ahead of, and like, you know, that I'm also aware of. And I think in the past, when in the past it made me very insecure and very like, I have to make sure that I don't yark you out or freak you out, because then that, you know, then there's the whole thing that we have to like work through, and I have to recover them, you have to recover them. And like, there's conflict that has to be had that I just want to avoid at all costs. That is definitely present in our relationship. To answer your question. But yeah, I think we're trying to, I think you're aware of it. I think I'm also trying to become more aware of we're aware of the ways in which I'm being unreasonably whatever, and ways that it's like, you know, this is actually just who I am and how I am, and I don't have to feel guilty or ashamed or like defensive of how I am. And I think we're learning how to do that in a way that, just like you said, takes time and conversation.
Sure.
Do you have one for me?
I don't know. I think you, and this feels weird, but I think that there are some times. No, I don't, because I don't know how to say it. But I think there are times when you, when it comes to people I associate with, men, where you have I think it's because you don't want to see me get hurt, but you have a tight grip on like you give a lot of judgment there. Unless you fuck with them. But when you don't, or when you're just like, this, or I don't know, it can just feel like judgment of like, oh, maybe I'm not making the right decision, or okay, girl, like you can, but I know it's because you want the best for me. I know that. But when you are not super impressed with someone, you make it real known.
Mm.
And that's okay.
And in front of the presence of them, and the man picks up on it?
No, you're not even around them. It's with me, where I'll just be like, oh, I might withhold, or I might, you're more protective than you think. I'll say that. Mm-hmm. You're more, and it's not the way that you do it. It's not in a way, I appreciate it, but it's not in a way where it's like, all right, well, I'll fuck him up, girl. It's in a like, I might think somebody's dope, and then you're just like, this dumb motherfucker. You're like, oh. And I know that, and I know it's because you want the best for me, but I also know that you don't do it with other people. Because I'm like, there's no way you think this person is less dope than this one. So, okay.
Interesting.
But you're just more loving and interested and more supportive of that exploration. Where with me, you're like, yeah, I need to, nah, I'm not supportive of this. This is fucking dumb.
Interesting.
Like, oh, okay. And then you tell me, and you can be like, I don't have any interest in seeing this motherfucker. Like, you literally said that to me about somebody, and like just shut it down. You're like, you're like, I couldn't think of anything worse, a worse person I'd want to spend my day with.
Who that is?
You don't know? It was someone that I had a crush on. Nothing happened, but you said that the last time you were up here, and I mentioned him, and it was just like, I could never date him. Could I ever date him? But you do.
Oh my God!
But that's not even a tight fist thing. It's just something that you do that I just think is like, it's not a tight fist thing. But if I ever wanted to even think about going back to my ex, we couldn't be friends, and I know
that's
that.
Not true. That's not true.
But you would judge me, and I'm not thinking about that word. But I know, like, you might be worse than me. You know how I am with the girls. I'm like, Shanti just would be like not present, just and it's
disassociate.
Yeah,
that would be hard for me. That would be hard for me.
I know,
and I know that you would. I know you would just be happy as a pig in mud, child. I know if it was all the stars aligned,
but
that would be
that's
hard
not.
for me.
I'm not saying that's not what I want, but I'm just saying, you know, you're more protective than you think and more judgmental than you think.
That's probably true. That's very true.
You talk about some people that I might associate with the way you talk about Common. Like,
oh, I wonder who this. That's how much I don't fuck with this person because it's not even in my radar. Like, who that could possibly be?
They're not in my radar anymore. But it's just funny. It's just, and you do it like while I'm still interested. And I will say sometimes.
What could I do?
It
to be more like this.
I don't know.
What
You're just not with the shits with me. You're not playing with these people.
I think you know me, but I think you know me well enough, and you know my responses well enough that somebody else that I'm like, that
I know.
You're just like.
Anyway, that's not even really applicable.
Mm-mm. But anyway,
she said, mm-mm.
I think we all know. I think it's the parts where the fear and the chest constriction and the tightness and that part of you that has a tight grip on somebody else, whether it's your kid or your friend or your partner. And I want us to be like Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union and let it go. Just open it up a little bit and see what happens. And it's a daily test to do it. But the more that we do it, the more space is there. And again, the more possibilities can be seen, because I think through our parents, we've seen what happens when somebody, dictates or moves from a place of a lot of fear. What happens? I think protection, I think care can happen without fear being the baseline or the lead. So, like, what did Kendrick say? Trust in the unknown, faith in the unknown. Most High Selassie I and I.
He said trust in the completion.
There's beauty in completion and always faith in the unknown. Oh, that man is a Black Israelite. Come on now. Follow the way. Is he celebrating Passover?
He might.
I believe he is. He is a Black Israelite. He gonna come. That nigga gonna be on Compton streets in black and purple, preaching on a box with the other big niggas in polyester suits. Shout out to them and their ministry. I mean no harm to anybody. To the Black Israelites.
All right.
No. I just want to know where the women are. You know what I'm talking about? Why aren't there any women out there preaching as well?
They are.
I never see any of the.
Oh, well, they're probably,
women
I would imagine that they are like second fiddle. Are they even allowed to preach? The way they be, it's giving patriarchy. I don't think those women will be allowed to preach. Have you ever had a Black Israelite talk to you? They will. Shame. You talking about shame. You're like, look at this white devil bitch. She's like, oh.
Hey, I'm
I'm literally just walking. Yo, in Philly, you know where I used to get it to work? At City
At the
Hall.
At the pin.
Yes.
Them
Don't
niggas
let
be
it be
out.
a warm day. You know, in a sundress. It's your ass. Them black Israelites used to be like, look at this white devil bitch. Like, so heavy in the mic.
Ass
You just like,
clapping in her short sundress.
titties all
panties
out.
on.
Shame,
They lightweight
you nasty
getting hard when I
hoe.
talk about it. Titties jiggling in unison, up and down, red lips glistening.
Listen, how much MAC lip glass can you put on? White devil. Don't look at her, young man.
What's your number, yo? Can I get your number? Fine as fuck. All right, everybody, internet, you need to go see Everything Everywhere All at Once, and this will make so much more sense.
All right, I will. It did
Woman
make
in
that much
Chicago
sense.
that's like, this don't make no fucking sense. If you go see this, it'll come first circle. Everybody, I implore you, support minorities and Asians. Go see this. It's well worth it. Deserves an Oscar, an Emmy, and whatever they give to films as well. I'm exhausted. Oh my God, I can't believe I did it. Okay, well, we appreciate everyone.
Oh, it is late.
And
All right.
catch you on the flip side.
All right. Bye.
Peace out.